Hello everyone, this is Tribecast episode 41 and my name is Marina. This week you'll hear an interview with Antti Vuorio, which was recorded on the last days of his trainership for Business Tampere. And then please listen to our news block. Oh, the weather outside is frightful and we still sit here and record Tribecast. I know it's shitty poetry. Anyways, this is Tribecast, and we have one more guest this week, and this is one of the people I enjoy talking to because we basically work together or have worked until recently. So, let me introduce to you one more person who has been an active part of Tribe Tampere startup community, and we're glad to have him both in the community and today in our studio at Tribecast. Let me remind our listeners that our studio occupies a cozy corner in P47 co-working space. Hello, Antti. Thanks for everything you've done for the community recently, and please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Hello, my name is Antti Vuorio. Hello, Marina. I'm so happy to be here today, and thank you for so kind words. Just little brief introduction about myself. I'm an engineering student in University of Tampere, Hervanta campus. Many people might know the older name TUT or Technical University. Anyway, on top of that, I'm especially interested in software business development, and that's the theme I have been working with this summer and this autumn. So I have been summer trainee in Business Tampere this summer, and while working there, I made a startup study about Tampere region startups.
All right. Basically, maybe we can start from that angle. Could you please explain a bit more what was your job about in Business Tampere? Have you done anything besides the research?
Yes. So basically, as a trainee, I helped the startup team of Business Tampere to develop further the service pool Business Tampere offers to local startups, including events and recognizing needs of specific types of services local startups could need or like to have. And my main focus during my job, I made the startup study. I interviewed local startups and found out some very curious facts about them. So little introduction about this study. So the goal was to further develop the information Business Tampere wants to gather from startups in order to understand the current stage of the startups at the moment. And the study is based on study from 2018, which information was updated to current 2019 figures.
All right. Was it easy to reach the startups? Were they willing to participate in the study?
Well, that really depended on the startup. Of course, you can imagine when let's say you are CEO of a very young firm and you are busy developing your business. It really depends. If you might be really busy at the moment, or you might have a little bit more relaxed schedule. So some of the startups that were doing really well, but on same time wasn't that hurried at the moment. Many CEOs were really happy to talk with me. But also some companies told that they are so busy with their business that they don't have any time to use. And that's really understandable, I think.
I have a random observation now. If you talk with the CEO of a company, if it's a not too little company or maybe some middle size or something, maybe the CEO has a bit of a different perspective on what's going on than a normal employee. How would you tackle that?
Yes. Well, the information we gathered about the companies were that, I would say, basic or non-arguable, that it really didn't matter. I believe there wasn't any bias because of the words were told by the CEO compared to employee of the firm. But of course, you are correct. Different employees of each company have different viewpoints.
At some point you told me, or I think it was during your presentation, right? You had a presentation of your research for Business Tampere and
Yes.
Open Community recently. So you told me that the questionnaire was developed last year when this research was run, I think, for the first time, and you made some differences to it. So what were the differences and how different was the research this year compared to the last year?
Okay, so yes, last year this research or study, we may call it, it was made first time. And I believe it's pretty normal that during a work that includes a questionnaire, a list of questions. The questionnaire was made first time last year, and we made small changes to the questionnaire this year. I wouldn't go to the details, but basically the idea was to make the questionnaire more understandable. Mm-hmm. But on the same time, the goal was to gather very similar information, so we may compare this year's and last year's data we collected. And it's at the moment, the idea is to make this study annually, so we may even in upcoming years we may also compare the data we have collected.
And how did the interviewing process go? Did you talk with the CEOs via Skype? Did you just send them the list to fill?
Okay, so first of all, we gathered a list of all the startups we believe that exist in the Tampere region. After that, we started sending emails to them, like heads up emails to them that we are doing this study. And then basically I started calling them. And those who answered, most of them were interviewed. And after 10-question phone call interview, I also sent them seven additional questions to answer, to fill in web form. So after those questions were asked, I got the full data pool, and then I started looking for those answers and making some assumptions and gathering up all the information I have gathered.
Okay. Could you please explain again, what is the purpose of this research? Why is it important for Tampere ecosystem?
Yes. Okay, so Business Tampere wants to make the life of local startups easier with services that include, for example, events and the Red Brick Accelerator and Nordic Startup School Accelerator, those kind of events and projects. Yes. So in order to be able to aim our resources to meaningful points, we need information. And that information includes, for example, the financial state of those firms. What is revenue of those firms? What is their revenue expectations for this year and upcoming year? How many of those companies have got funding? What kind of funding they have got? If you are interested more, I can list, for example, which market areas local startups are using, what market areas those companies are aiming at the moment, and which market areas they see most promising in the near future.
Antti, there is one more question I'd like to ask. I know that you have been part of the core team of Stream Startup Festival this year. Could you please elaborate what was your job there and what are your general experience?
Okay, so about the work I made for Stream. Mm-hmm. So my and Valtteri's primary goals were to raise awareness of Stream and the local startup ecosystem in general to the corporations, because I believe that there are huge potential in the collaboration of startups and corporations.
Hey, I guess that needs a bit of an explanation because Stream is considered to be a festival for early stage startups. Where do the corporations step in here?
Yes. Okay. So, for bigger audience, startups might be seen as those cool guys making some mobile applications, for example, Volt or those similar to that. Those are applications meant for crowd, for normal people. But on top of that, there actually many of startups don't do anything meant for consumers, but for other businesses. And this is called business to business. So I believe that bringing those corporations to talk with early stage startups in the early stage is a very wise thing to do, because that's how those startups might find new customers. They might make their applications or whatever their product or service is meant to.
Mm-hmm. That explains. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation, and thank you for having time for this interview today, Antti. I guess our listeners should have learned something more about Business Tampere activities in Tampere region, and also we had a quick overview of Stream Festival. It's funny that we had almost all core Stream team now already in our recordings. So thank you very much for the interview. I wish you a great weekend. And yeah, see you around.
Thank you, Marina, so much.
This was the last interview we would like to provide you in 2019. Tripecast team is going on holidays. We'll be back to you in January 2020, so please check the updates in our Twitter not to miss the next episode. Also, let me remind you that co-working space P47 will be closed for holidays from the 23rd of December to 5th of January. We would encourage you to listen to all the episodes you missed and maybe even to replay your favorite ones. That's why we have increased the number of platforms you can find us on. Now Tripecast Tray is shared to Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, and Podcast Addict. Choose your favorite one, subscribe and enjoy. Next January, Tripecast Tray will celebrate 1 year of its appearance. The first episode was released 21st of January. This year, 21st of January, we are going to throw a birthday party, and you're invited. Please come to P47 21st of January to share with us the sweet memories of the beginning and the big plans for the future. There is no entrance fee. The only requirement is to be a listener. And yes, we'll get a cake. More event details will appear on our Twitter soon. This was all for this week. I hope you haven't missed Slush special episode. It's one of my favorite ones so far, not to mention all the fun we had while recording it. On behalf of Tripecast team, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope to see you in 2020, and I can ensure that you will hear me again. My name is Marina, this is Tripecast Tray. Have a joyful holiday and stay warm and tuned.